Well, she used to be. I don't know if she's still. You know the deal?
I'm sure it's a combination of both. You know, maybe tweak the plan to make it a little more digestible. You know, got the How you doing? Excuse me. I've seen you quite, it's like I haven't seen you ever. I haven't seen you quite within a couple of months. Good, how are you? Hoping we're not talking. Don't tell nobody, I'm already planning my head. Okay. But all of us will be like, well, it's that time.
Good evening. If I could ask everyone to find your seats. How are you? I'm Adams Bazaulda, District 7 council member. I'm here to listen. I'm here to observe. I want to hear feedback from the community. I know that this has already gone back and forth from CPC, and I'm hoping that we can find a resolve that the community can support, but this is the only way to find out what the community will support is to get out in front of the community. So this is extremely important, and I have no really other opinion other than I'm here to listen. So I'm going to send it over to our Pastor Raphael, and then y'all will have your presentation. And then we'll get to questions and answers as well. We have our Desiree Walls from District 7 has our office streaming it, right? It is being streamed. So if you hear from anyone that they couldn't make it or that they were struggling, if you let them know it is being streamed on our District 7 page, and they can ask questions. Des will be monitoring that as well, so we can make sure to get all the questions.
Thank you.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor and privilege to be here again today. Thank you for coming, and I want to welcome all my team members who are here. Pastor Austin, Jacob Ajayi, Opebanwo, and Pastor Karen, and a lot of great men in the community that are here today for this meeting. And I want to especially welcome our councilman. He did a very great job in our community. Thank you so much. And his determination to make our community great is unparalleled. So we are so grateful to him. And Officer Joseph has been keeping our community very safe. Thank you so much for coming. Every time we have to meet, we see him all the time. Amen. Thank you so much. God bless you. And our Mr. Brown, we've been together in the community for development for a long time. Thank you for coming. So today is a great day, like the councilman has said. We want to listen, we want your contribution, so that at least we can have a great thing in our community. It's ever welcome, amen. That's a very good woman in our community. So I want to welcome everyone that are here today. So let's listen, let's contribute, and I know at the end of the day, great things will happen in our community. Thank you so much, amen. Pastor Austin, amen.
Thank you so very much, Pastor Raphael Adebayo. Once again, beautiful evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm standing in front of you as a testament of the work that Pastor Raphael Adebayo and the wife, Mrs. Elizabeth Adebayo, have been doing in South Dallas. Amen. They are the co-founders of the Winners Assembly Church, which was the first meeting was on MLK and Malcolm X somewhere in December 2003. They've been doing this work for the past going 23 years. Why am I here? To say that they are stakeholders in this community. We are not just about the building. We've been about the people, and I'm a product of that. I left the company when I was so miserable. I thought life was all about economics. Until I met them and they changed my life 15 years ago. So many other lives that have been changed. So for us, we try to tell the community what we try to do then, but apparently our communication was not well put together. So we are here this evening to say that we have listened and we have come with some great modifications that will reflect the historical architecture of this area. To do that, one of the significant introductions we have to change the design team and the construction team, because we have it. And that will lead me, because we don't want to waste any time tonight, so we can hear you sufficiently. And that will lead me to mention the next speaker, Mr. Calvin Brown. You're going to stay by me. I
appreciate it. Okay. Amen.
I met this gentleman about 10 years ago. He was Reginald Oyinde of the Economic Development Department of the City of Dallas. He said, I know you guys are doing great things in South Dallas. Come and see what this African American is doing to lives. He's a real estate developer, he's a property developer. He has done tremendous things. And in our configuration, he said, we don't have to look any further. We have somebody from here who has built things. He has built people and he has built structures. So we sought him out. We didn't seek him. because of the value he's bringing here. We know he's going to take this project to different level. So he's part of, as a matter of fact, he's the lead in terms of the design and construction. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'm humbled by your kind words. And I was honored to be invited to your team. Not all the time we get opportunities to be invited to the table of economic development, particularly when it comes to our communities. Let me do a formal introduction. My name is Kevin Brown, born and raised here in South Dallas on Pear Street. I am your personal real estate developer and construction management firm with a mission to change the way our communities are built, but more importantly, who benefits from that. We do that by adding value, creating opportunity, and sharing the wealth with our community using both residential and commercial real estate as that vehicle, which brings into focus our great vision of us collectively building our communities again. And when I say that, my brothers and sisters, I mean that literally. I'm talking about us building our own neighborhoods, our homes, building our parks, our schools, our churches, building our business districts where we work, shop, dine, and are entertained. Hence, building collective wealth, intergenerational wealth building, but more importantly, building an economy where we can become the #1 employer of our own community. Now, this vision is my life's work. I dedicate myself to it. And everything that I've done for the last 30 years of building, designing, I've dedicated myself to that. And that is why it was so important to be involved in this project, because the church's mission with this development, Winners Tower, is aligned with our mission and our vision. We don't just do any kind of work. I've taken the time, you know what, in 30 years of building here in Dallas, just a short story on myself. I was born in South Dallas. My father was a coach at Lincoln High School. My mother graduated from Lincoln. My mother went on to be the first African-American woman to be in the architectural department at the city of Dallas and worked there for over 7 years. She retired on Independence Day. Her name is Jeanette Brown Sneed. She retired on Independence Day from the city of Dallas, and she joined me, and my dream came true. And so I grew up in this household with a dad being a coach and a mother being an architect. And I played ball most of my life, and there was this pivotal point. And that pivotal point was, I had to tell my dad I was going to follow after my mama's footsteps. I wasn't going to be a football player. He's asked me what I was going to do. And I started taking architectural classes in South Oakland High School. And then later on, Bob Story took drafting classes. And later on, here today, I'm doing my dream. I'm participating in my dream. Now, it hadn't been a perfect journey. And I really did never get the acknowledgement. A lot of times people would meet me and say, hey, I never heard of you. I'm quiet about that. I just try to serve and do God's work to the best of my ability, right? But lately, we've been getting some attention. And so we've been in many publications. Recently, Dallas Morning News did a piece where I took 15 members of the community and I brought them together to build a home out of our pockets cash. We didn't borrow money from the bank, and we were able to share those proceeds. And then we worked with Jack Matthews on the design for Mill City. They honored us and allowed us to participate in the design of the Mill City project. St. Philip's has been a great partner. Yes, St. Philip's has been a great, gave me the honor to be a part of 1632, which is on the corner, catty corner to your project, Pastor. That's that project. And I had the honor to be able to do that, and I'd like to recognize Scotty for giving me an opportunity to work with him on this project on MFK. And I didn't mean to take your time, but I think it's important that you understand who's asking you to partner with them strategically. And so I thought it was important to let you know who's involved. Now, let's talk about the new vision. Now, I know y'all heard, or if you hadn't, the first shot at it didn't pass. And what I have to say on behalf of the church when I sat down and talked with them, they heard you. One, it doesn't fit. Your voice matters. They understand that now. And also was heard, this is not for the community. And so they wanted to make sure that they expressed what this project really is, and they wanted to take another shot at it where they addressed those concerns. A little bit about the history. 1930, 1960, this community was thriving in economics for black business and black homeowners. 1960 to 2010, there was a big disinvestment. And recently, 2010, we saw investment happening, a resurgence, due to local developers and builders that are now investing in our community, but we hadn't seen any large projects to this scale being done. Now, I'm so thankful about Forest Theater, Forest Forward, what they're doing, what Scotty's doing, and all the other developers here. And so it's important we understand the historical history of it to understand it is important to return investment back to South Dallas. And that's what this church is here to do. So I'd like to introduce you the new vision of a 10-story, 20th century, modern 20th century building that's more conducive to the architecture that we see here in South Dallas, being brick, cast stone, and the divided light windows that kind of go with that old architecture. I thought that this was amazing. And the other thing, keep in mind, thank you. We thank the church. This design does elevate the community. I live here in South Dallas on Al Lipscomb Way, and I was born here, so I live in this neighborhood. I invest in this neighborhood, and so I have a stake here too, and I wanted to come to you and speak from that perspective. Two, the public heart, they heard you. Community center. This new facility will have a community center that can be shared, okay? The church is also going to be present in this facility. So they're not leaving here. They've been here 22 years, Pastor, now. They're going to still be here present. And that facility will be here for the community to be able to do all kind of events. Future grocery store. So they want a full service grocery store. They want more banking here. And for the city, walkable, livable sidewalks and street walks. We got that too. And so really nice. I like that. I can see hanging out there. Innovation and hospitality. So they wanted to make sure that they had professional office suites, which is pretty cool because small businesses, we don't need the big footprint for office space. So being able to have, co-working has been very popular. I participated in construction management for 1808 South of Latimer there. And that was a very popular good space and a good move for that developer. And so they're talking about suites, business incubation space for local entrepreneurs, also a hotel to have hotel accommodations, conferencing and meeting space. All right, elevated living. So studios, lofts, 1 and 2 bedroom units. We have a lot of young millennial professionals that would like to be near near downtown. And so, this is a great opportunity for them to be here in South Dallas and be able to have that type of view and this type of in this type of building. Rooftop terrace and resident lounges. So you're going to have all of this in this space, and so I really love the fact that they thought how to make this a destination location. Now here's a big deal. Community impact and economic benefits. This is real important. Job creation is important. We need job creation, okay? That's really important. And so this will create jobs. Two, it increased the tax base. That's important too. We need more tax dollars so that our school systems can get the things our children and our young people can get the things that they need, the investment that they need. And so having a tax base that supports that and other services is important. This also supports local businesses and entrepreneurship. I'm going to get into that in a minute. And also it's a catalyst to encourage future development on this scale. It's a reimagining of the MLK corridor. And the MLK corridor deserves that. We deserve it.
Amen.
I don't want to have to go to Frisco to do that. To Plano, I don't. I'd love it to be here. Now, strategic partnerships is my favorite word, y'all. I believe in strategic partnerships. I want to talk about this a little bit. This is a very creative model that the church and their leadership, Pastor Raphael, his leadership and his team have envisioned a certain type of partnership. So one, community equity, that's important. Your involvement, your voice, your participation, we have to have. That's important. Too many times we're left out of the conversation. And they wanted to make sure that you were here at the table. Two, business ownership, what we call tenant partnership. Now I'm going to tell you what tenant partnership is. So you got a developer. You got local businesses that are paying into rent. That developer says, hey, listen, you come and take your office or your business here, and we will give you equity. We'll give you an equity opportunity. Now when you're paying into rent, you own some of it. That's community ownership. That's real ownership. And so being able to do that is going to be great. The other thing was very intriguing and very strategic is that when the last time y'all seen big dollars get sent to South Dallas for anything outside Fair Park? Honestly. Okay. That's important. This is what's so strategic about that. They are seeking global partners that are willing to bet on you, to invest in you, and invest in us, and our future through the global EB5 investment. I want y'all to do some research on that. This is a very strategic way to gain capital for projects like this. Y'all please take that down so that y'all understand what the EB5 investment is. And it allows foreign investors to invest dollars here and gain a green card. It has to create jobs, and it has a minimum cap of $800,000 to $1 million investment. It is a very strategic way to not have to depend on funds here locally or bank dollars, and it's a win-win. That is strategic. I appreciate you, Pastor, for that vision, for finding a way to get major dollars invested in our community, okay? With that being said, that is the end. I know that there's limited time, but we wanted to allow at least for a few questions. And so, y'all, it's your meeting. You tell me 5 questions. What can we do?
Let's just worry about the time, but as long as time permits, let's get questions and answers.
All right. So, all right. Now, let me say this. I'm gonna let y'all ask questions. There may be other members of my team that will address any questions that you have, though. And we didn't pass out paper. I was gonna have y'all write whatever questions down. But any questions that don't get addressed tonight, please. You said the QR code, Pastor Austin. That QR code, you can send your questions there, and this team will make sure they address your questions. But I don't know, anyone have any questions? Scotty.
Hey, good evening. My name is Scotty Smith. Thank you so much. Very good. First off, thank y'all for going back to the drawing board. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for not clamming up and just disappearing from the community. I know how it is as a development team to have a big project with a big vision and getting it shot down and then disappearing. appreciate at least coming back to the drawing board and trying. Thank you so much. Kevin, can you talk to us about the parking situation for this?
The parking.
Yeah, how
Yes.
are we gonna park this?
So they're proposing 2 levels, subsurface, underground for parking
Below grade.
Oh,
to meet their parking requirements.
First below grade South Dallas.
Hey. Yeah. Great question, Scott.
Yeah. Even greater answer.
Will you guys make sure to talk loud enough so that people virtually can hear your questions too?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello there, my name is Pasani Burton, fellow South Dallas. My question for you is, the original vision for Winter's Tower and this new one are drastically different in
Yes.
good ways. Those who were financially interested in the original vision, what incentive do they have now to invest in this new vision? You see what I'm saying? Like, it was really one kind of development before, and now you go in a different direction. Who's coming in that direction with you?
That is a great question, and it also gives us an opportunity to talk about the strategicness of the EBB5. With the EB5, there's a different motive. And so if you have wealthy abroad investors, not in this country, that want a legal path to citizenship, and then 2, to be able to invest in our economy, that's a different motive. And so that resolves that problem. It's not like having an investor here locally that's just looking at the numbers, right, and the project. These folks have a different motivation. And so there is a large amount of investors that meet that qualification. So I don't think they'll have a problem getting those funds together for this particular project. Is that fair enough?
Try as well.
Good to see Kevin.
It's good to see you, Ted.
I'm a resident developer as well in the neighborhood, but I got a couple questions, because I'm just now getting this much of an intimate understanding of what the project is. I didn't mind the first project, because I think the vision, I didn't know the details. I didn't know the details of it, but now seeing this, and I read the questionnaire survey, I did the survey, and put my request in there as far as what I thought. But I got a couple questions. One, the cultural relationship or cultural partnership. Because when I hear high net worth individuals coming in, being sought after to come in, you don't invest $800,000 without some type of, incentive interest. So we have our own interest. So I'd like to see how we're collaboratively going to live and function. That's one. And then the other one is just the space that you think for the grocery store. And are you looking for vendors for this commercial space, meaning partners for the vendors to leasing up that space on the first level?
All right. So, great question. Great question. All right. So, I want to get clarification on the first part of that question. The second part, I totally understood. But I want to get clarification on that first part of that question.
I'm just wondering if we're gonna have something to express our South Dallas culture. You're like I say from here, so you know some of the things. You see the Forest Theater. I see the Forest Theater at least seems like have a thoughtful development plan to maintain the culture that's here. So this is a big investment,
Yes,
but
it
I
is.
don't, whether it's artistically, culturally, just some of the things that we're catering to, that we are known for in the community, culturally. How do we mesh that? I'd like the community to be able to contribute to those ideals.
I got
into the
you.
development.
And that is definitely an excellent question. I think that the portion about strategic partnerships when we talk about, it's particularly black-owned businesses that's been serving South Dallas for a long time. I think the ability to be able to lease a space for your business but to have an opportunity in that very space that you're doing business to have ownership in it through tenant partnerships. Those type of deal structures don't happen, but on large levels, box stores, you know, Target may come in and say, hey, yeah, we come in and we take this many square foot in the anchor, we want some equity without having to be on the deck or having any risk. And so I think that alone protects the culture, because it's the folks that have already been here that can have great ownership. Two, the church not leaving is very important too. Them staying there, them still worshiping there, them still serving there, definitely protects it. Three, the community center and aspect and the incubator, being able to house events that we will be able to use this facility for. I think that's a big deal. And I think that's how we do that, through the reflection of the ownership is what I like to say. Now, let's talk about the second question and three. Are they seeking tenant partners? Yes, but softly, right? The reason why that is, they needed to visit with you first. They realized they were working backwards. We admit that. We were working the wrong way. And so we wanted to work the opposite way. We wanted to get with you first, get your buy-in first, so that we can confidently go out and talk to future tenants. That was important. You got a question for me? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I just wanted to put a little information out there regarding the EB5 stuff.
Yes, please.
I know a little bit about it because
Can you speak into the microphone?
Yeah, I know a little bit about EB because my immediate brother is an attorney, and that's what he specializes on.
I understand.
So the idea of EB 5 application is to allow those who want to be Americans that are not Americans, they are all over the world, and they want to gain access to America, they want to be American over the long haul, to bring in at least $1 million, 1%. So their primary interest is not the building. Their primary interest is not profit. For instance, these are not heavily profit-oriented individuals. So the building actually belongs to the community. Whatever you want in the building can be accommodated, because those people are not driving what is in the building. Their primary interest is to be an American. They don't care about the building very much. Understand? And they are all over. One will be a German, another one will be an Italian, another one will be somebody from South Africa. They don't even know themselves. Understand? The pastor has secured a regional center that drives the program. So when they make the application to be admitted into the United States, the application will run through the pastor. And let me throw some numbers. Let's assume that this building is worth about $30 million. And he receives 200 applications. That's at least $200 million. So there is more that can be done in the environment. He is never going to spend a penny of that money outside this environment. So you may be having series of developments that you drive. Those people coming to America, they don't care whether it is a church or a mosque or a shop. That's not the primary aim. The primary objective is to come here and be allowed to do business here. So they own a piece, each of them own a piece of this building, run by the regional center for whatever you want in that environment. So from time to time, this kind of meeting would happen, and we say, okay, we want to do another building. What do we want in that building? Because we have this money that is with this pastor, and we don't know what to do with it. Those people don't tell us what to do with the money. We do something with the money. If we said we wanted to build whatever it is, say, vocational center for children or whatever, that's what we're spending money on. Their own interest is to be admitted into the United States. We will let that happen. Understand? And then the regional center will run the building exactly the way the community is about.
Amen.
Well, basically just to speak like that. These foreign investors or wherever they are, basically what they are doing is they are sending their money right here for the benefit of South Dallas community. They are not running this. We do. And their benefit is they get green card wherever they might. They might probably be living not in this community, they might be living in South Texas or anywhere.
They're not going to be here.
Yeah.
They'll be in Florida.
We are the one, their money is here. We don't necessarily need their faces. So
That's right. I think that the biggest part, one last thing, the biggest part is the jobs that are tied to it. For every investor, there's 10 jobs that have to be created based on that EB5. At least, minimum. That's someone saying that. Oh, there you go. All right, past the teams, no more questions from y'all. We gotta let the community ask a question. Yes.
I've got several questions on the representation of Colonial Hill Neighborhood Association School. I and Mr. Price is here. We represent that neighborhood association. Right there, and where your tower is. I'm sorry. So to the councilman and to the staff of the council and to the people of the community, we oppose this hotel 25-story building overlooking the privacy of the people's yards in the area. Now, I think I heard on several accounts, not only at this meeting, but several meetings, that you've been in existence for 22, 23 years. I happened to do some research. I did some research on the property. The Winters Tower is listed for the CPAD for 2015, your existence. So that's about 11 years, about 22 years. It changed hands and on and so forth. But we want to know what the benefits you're going to be to the Colonial Hill and the grocery store. I'd like to know what type of items, what type of products are you going to be? Is it going to be just a Jamaican product, or is it going to be just products just like a Kroger store or Walmart store? You know, I understand the bank. I understand, you know, we can maybe use another bank in the area, you know, for those that want to. But this area, I've lived in for 60 years. So I know what was at that location back in the day. The Freeman's Drugstore, the restaurants, and all of that. We need shoe shops in this area. Shoe repair folk, you know? People, you know, the ladies, they lose the heels on their shoes and, you know, might want to keep that invested dollar pair of shoes. So, you know, we just don't see the value of a hotel in this area at all. It will bring more traffic, underground garage, that's more traffic. We're already being bombarded with traffic, you know, with some developments that's going on already in the area. So our people have problems getting in and out of Colonial Hill right today as a result of the coming down of the Central Expressway and converting to SM Wright Boulevard.
Sir, I'm sorry. Did you have a question, sir? I'm sorry, sir. I didn't hear a question.
So,
Yeah, he's okay.
what is the plan?
Sir, I really do appreciate the question and you participating. Thank you for that. But I do want to correct you on a couple of things. I did get that you said, hey, we don't want a 25-story building overlooking us. And so they did go back to the drawing board. We're no longer proposing a 25-story building. It's a 10-story building, but more conducive to the 20th century architecture that's there. And it's also smaller, by 3 floors, than the tallest building in South Dallas on Warren, near the corner of Warren and 175.
Yeah, but right now, that area is zoned for 2 stories, and we'd like to keep it 2 stories.
I got, that's why you're here to voice that. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Zora McPherson. I want to acknowledge the city council members and my pastor, Raphael. And I think this is a great project, but because we do want to change, I think it's a great idea. But my question is, Mr. Kent Brown, when you mentioned foreign investors possibly obtaining green cards or citizenship, would this require local or federal government approval? If so, should we be working on that now, or have we already started?
Well, this is a program that exists today that is a federal program, and I can allow the team to speak to that, but this program does and has to be approved. There's rules and regulations around this particular program, and this is a federal program.
Hello. Back here. I live in Colonial Hills, so I just wanted to emphasize that there are others present from Colonial Hills who may have a different opinion about the project.
Yes.
So my questions are more about the procedure moving forward. So I understand it's at the zoning phase, but given that it's zoned like a PD and it's in a special sub area, if we move forward with this proposal, how much is set in stone? Like the PD is for the general area, but I don't know, like with the development plans in particular, if you wanted to change up maybe some of the configurations or have some more specific site design feedback, like is that at a different stage or are we doing that now?
No, so great question, thank you for that. There will be other meetings, let's just say that they are approved to move forward with these zoning changes. The church has made clear to me that they want to keep the community involved in the move. And so they do have a website, and you're going to have some other community meetings, correct, Pat? And so they do have a website where things can be shared, and then they will host other meetings once preliminary design work comes out, where y'all can have your buy-in and give your voice to what is being created. And so if it is approved, there's a process of schematic design before you go into the core design that we will all take a look at together. Yes, sir.
It was mentioned earlier that the people that will be invested in this is only invested in order to get a green card and come to the United States. And so that's the purpose of it. So this is another way of getting around the regular immigration laws and those kind of things. That's one of the purposes of the whole program of the project, right?
Well, that's not the, and I know that the pastor and his team spoke about it. I want to give you some clarity on the United States, the goal of that program. The goal is to create jobs on our side, right? We want jobs, and we want investment for worthy projects, right? And so jobs are created per investor. So one investor comes in, invests $1 million, a minimum of 10 jobs. It has to be created. That's the regulation, okay? The other, on that other side is citizenship, right? And so, but that's the appropriate way to get citizenship. And so that addresses the problem out. So you got somebody coming from abroad that makes an investment in our community. They create jobs. They gain citizenship to do business here.
Okay, now, with this project, wouldn't it be better to go along with a two-story building rather than going through all of this, which is gonna cause a lot of problems in the community? And if you went with the two-story, you wouldn't have to go through this, and you wouldn't be opposition to it, you wouldn't have to change any zoning or anything in that nature. So it would be easier, much easier to go with a two-story project.
Sir, you're absolutely right. It would be the path of least resistance would be able to do that. However, I want y'all to give some consideration to those that are out here trying to develop and make improvements to the community. So that requires you to step outside of your shoes a little bit. It has to make economic sense. And a lot of times, we'll sit in these meetings and we'll hear the city approach us with things or developers approach us with things, and we really need to understand that there's an economic trigger, and it has to make good business sense. He has a financial responsibility to those that in the community and business owners, stakeholders, that he's doing it for. And that math has to math. And that's why you're seeing him, he's been flexible, said, okay, well maybe I'll come down, we're gonna lose 15 floors, more than 50% of what he was talking about building before. But it has to do with the financing and financials. That's what that has to do with. But we do respect your opinion and saying, hey, look, I really don't like it. Hey, man, me and my wife don't get along on everything, but there's a compromise, right? And so there are some benefits. I just wanted to point out the benefits to you so that you can say, okay, is the benefits worth the sacrifice?
And the next question's
Hi, my name's Julie Saxon. I work at St. Philip's. I've been there almost 20 years, and I've been doing revitalization work for almost 10 years. Kevin, I love you. But I can barely speak right now because I am just, it's hard for me to see this proposal. I don't talk about this very much, but I have a master's in business and economics, and I don't know if you've heard of the concept of anchoring, but if you start with 26 floors and then come back with 10 floors feeling like, oh, look how accommodating we were, that's a classic economic theory called anchoring, and it's just not right. And I knew that was gonna happen when I heard 26 stories because it was so outlandish. Honestly, I thought you might come back less than 10. This, in my opinion, is grossly incompatible with the surrounding neighborhood. The only building that I know of is Park Manor, which you referred to, and do you know how much input was gotten by community residents when they built that?
0. And
I don't think of any community charrettes giving neighborhood residents the option between 10 stories and 3. I think they are allowed by more than 2 stories, at least 3 stories. We were involved in a year-long process, the area plan, and there is hope in growth and investment in Martin Luther King Boulevard. And I think it would be exciting to see some of those 2-story, 3, some of that's already allowed by zoning. But this is just like, I don't know, to me it feels like a slap in the face. We're trying very hard to revitalize Martin Luther King Boulevard in a way that doesn't create mass displacement, that doesn't erase the history of South Dallas. And so that's very upsetting to me. And I don't want to I work really hard, you know how hard I work. I don't want to spend the next 3 months, like the people that are out in Preston Hall are trying to fight the big tower that they have on Royal. Like they're spending their lives out there because they're getting all the petitions from everybody that lives around there that doesn't want it. And I feel like I really appreciate this opportunity, but I feel like that's what it's going to take to counter this. And I know I could do that. I know that all those people that live in these little 1-story homes and we're repairing their roofs, this isn't the future that they want, that they're gonna feel a part of, and I'm just disappointed.
Well, Julie, first of all, thank you. And let me say this, Julie, I love you too. Thanks for telling me that, I appreciate it. I do want to, this is a good conversation. This really is a good conversation. So let's do this. By show of hands, who's open to a new future for South Dallas that looks like this? I'm just curious. Who's open? All right. I'm just curious because what's being said is that maybe that be something that the community wants, and that's why you're here. You're here to tell these developers what you want. My goal here, they're giving me an opportunity to participate as head of construction, head of design. And so I appreciate that. Now, personally, I don't oppose what they're trying to do. I'm born here, I live here, my mother went to school here, my father taught here, and I think that it has certain benefits. But I'm also open to understanding that thought. Why? Why is it bad? What will it do? How can it displace? And then, whatever that is, how do we fix it where our community can grow? And so, I think that I've had a lot of conversations about gentrification and things that are happening, especially in Black and Latino communities. I'm of the opinion that wealth inclusion, we're always having the conversations as if we can't afford anything. And that's not what we need to fix. What we need to fix is ownership and equity and wealth inclusion. We should be talking about those type of issues, but the thing of it is, the redevelopment of communities will happen. I'm watching West Dallas is no longer West Dallas. They rebranded it. My father's best friend stayed in West Dallas in what they call a shotgun house. And now West Dallas is rebranded as this, not the Cedars, but, thank you. And so, it's not when, it's not if it's gonna happen, it's when. And what I'm trying to be a part of is be a part of my community that has equity and ownership in them. That's what I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of that equity and inclusion if we grow. And so that's it. But this is a good conversation.
So piggyback off of Julie, it kind of felt like you guys shot high note you wanted to as well, right?
Yes.
I'm not against it, but I feel like there's pieces you are not considering for us who live by it, right? So outside of the flow of traffic, which the underground parking, that's good.
Okay.
But what about the nighttime? If it's an event center, you're now bringing noise to my neighborhood that wasn't there.
Right.
You're bringing rental opportunities for young people when maybe we should focus on affordable living for middle-class families. Like you want to build for the businesses, if you want to develop South Dallas, and you want to build wealth, it has to bring families in as well, not just businesses or younger people who aren't going to stick around. They're going to rent and move to Plano or to whatever. If you want to develop South Dallas, why not bring things that will have people come in and stay and invest in the community? So I'm not totally against it, but I'm not a fan of like after hours event center. I'm going to sleep when I'm 2 blocks from behind this, right? Same with a rooftop lounge. You're going to have kids and 30, 20-year-olds on the top of this apartment that I think they're a block away. So the thought process is not wrong, but how you're going about it, I feel like you need to consider future investment for South Dallas. It's not the right now. I can build apartments like that. They're popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
We don't need any more apartments. So why not make this something that maybe it's lost you can sell with the businesses on the bottom? I'm not opposed to the grocery store. I'm not opposed to the bank, but there has to be more long-term thought into it and not quick money and bring people here, because then you're affecting the people who have been here longer. Like, we don't want young people who are going to come in and come out, tear up the neighborhood, make noise, and not care about the community. You want people who are going to stay and invest and make South Dallas better.
Very well said. Very well said. And thank